that I had intended in my music, that hopefully you heard as well. But the AI never actually quite heard it, not the way that you just did. So what I gave it was the audio, the recording of the piece, the poem, and also the sketch of the work, because I'm lazy and I didn't write it out. And it set to work. It used audio analysis tools for the recording, and then it analyzed the poem and also the scores. And if we dig at what it's receiving and processing, its words, its tokens, and its probabilities. But if we want to look into the mechanics of these tokens and probabilities, the one word that helps us understand it best, I think, is actually patterns. And that's where it gets interesting, because we as humans are about patterns as well. We use patterns in pretty much everything that we do. The piano keyboard here is a pattern, our clothes are patterns, our art is patterns. And all our words that we use in speech and writing are also patterns. And that's how we read words and music, how we interact with one another. But more interestingly than that, we are actually about heuristics. The conclusions of patterns that we think are there are very often there, but also quite often as well not actually there. And we see the results of our heuristics, our patterns, processed by the machine here. What it did, it captured the mortality of the middle section, the lift of the winds, the turning of the stars, and the smallness of the final section, all very beautifully. But it's right, not because it actually felt anything, but because people have written about music, longing, and dreams, and meaning, and the edges of all of those things so many times, that the shape of what a sensitive listener, or somebody who might think about these things, would say is just already in the language. So it's recognizing that shape, that pattern, that heuristic. It's not listening, not the way we are. It's not feeling, and it's not thinking. It's gathering from an extraordinarily large corpus of text, human responses to things, and matching patterns very well. AI doesn't have feelings. It doesn't even really have thoughts. But if you read a lot of what AI writes, you probably think that it does, or at least if you didn't know that it was written by AI. So it says the right things in the right shapes, because humans who are inside things and who held things wrote about it, and it learned the shape of that. So one question that we are looking into is, what is the difference between knowing the meaning and not knowing the meaning, but being able to express the shape of it? Is there a difference? The poem that inspired this work has Heaven asking the poet where she's going, and her answer is, 我报路长接日暮，学诗漫有惊人句. The road is long, the day is late, and what does it matter that I have language, and beauty in the language, and linguistic and literary excellence. I first fell in love with this poem and decided to write it because, well, not write it, write to it, because of the imagery, and it is very, very pretty. It's very beautiful. But my favorite part, when I started working on it, and where I gave it my favorite melody, became this line, because I think, in a sense, it's the heart of the poem. And it's also the heart of what I have been circling in everything that I create. And in this age where we're wondering about the potential and the future of AI, what it brings, what it risks, I think the very mortality and the humanity of this question unanswered is perhaps one key. And today we're going to explore this together a little bit more with AI, because I think the edges of where it ends can maybe show us a little bit more of where we start as humans, and help us to think a little bit more and question maybe our own heuristics, and where we differ from AI, and whether holding meaning means anything